The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together.
Oh, yeah, yo. All right, yo, what's going on? Welcome back to This Can't Be Adulting. Saying the name like I don't know what podcast you on. Like you don't know what we got some good advice on comment the other day on YouTube.
Shoot.
I don't know if you checked it.
I didn't.
I rarely check the YouTube comments anymore because I'm usually up on the on Instagram. But I don't know who it was. She was like, y'all should put the title of the episode on the thumbnail when you're promoting your podcast. So our thumbnail is just us. This Can't Be Adulting. As opposed to This Can't Be Adulting. Shame.
Okay, yeah.
That way it gives people away because we have it on description, sure.
Yeah.
But we don't have it in our thumbnail. So.
Right, I see. Yeah. That's easy. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, we could probably do that. I appreciate it. I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
I don't know who this person was. But
Yeah. We're taking all feedback.
yeah. Taking all feedback, though. So
Okay.
here we
Okay.
are. How we doing?
Hey.
It's popping.
You know what? It's good.
It's good? Is it
it's
good, though? Because on the last episode, we were talking about, like, hey, be asking the homies if they're good, and then they just be like, oh, we good, but we ain't really good.
It's good.
Today
is good.
All right, today's
it's
good. Today's good. We out here chilling, man. Like I said, we're trying to get back up on this, get back up on the saddle, but this is season 2, episode 21.
Bruh.
Episode 21.
Putting them out.
Episodes is just
Putting them out.
dropping out here, dog.
Putting them out.
Again,
I need y'all to be, engagement. Tell a friend.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone that's already listening and has kind of looked forward to it. I will say I think we have more loyal female listeners than we have any of the homies. Or unless the homies just don't say nothing to us.
I'll say after last week's episode, I mean, you talk about two girls over here.
Talk about two
40-year-old girls over here.
Yeah, we was really vulnerable and open. But again, man, this is the authenticity I was talking for.
That's true.
What did I send you? I sent you something like, was it 2 weeks ago? Was it you? I sent somebody something.
With
it was about authenticity.
Yes.
Who was it that said it? Was it?
Was it Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown literally said what I've been saying for like 2 years now.
They get rid of him, but yeah.
Yeah, and then they get rid of him again.
But yeah.
Like he had this thing where he's like, the world is craving authenticity. I'm like, yes, we're craving authenticity. Now, you brought up a very good point. When I sent that to you, you wrote back, yeah, but everyone is cosplaying pretty much. That's not the word you said, but cosplaying authenticity. And I'm like, you're right, meaning people don't know because people aren't emotionally intelligent enough. And that sounds rude. I don't want to downplay people. Too. But people have been manipulated to confuse shamelessness with authenticity, right? And so what do I mean by that?
Yes.
What I mean by that, people are being fake and doing crazy-ass things like they don't give a fuck what anybody thinks for clicks, likes, comments, and money.
At the end of the day.
That's not the same as authenticity.
Yep.
People are also lying for and saying crazy lies for clicks and all. That's not the same. Yep. For all intents and purposes, Donald Trump is authentic in a lot of ways, but he lies. He's dishonest.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? He's dishonest. And a lot of what he does comes from dishonest ways too. A lot of the things that he does that you view as authentic too is just shamelessness. Is just him being like, this is how I'm going to get people to like me. I'm just going to say some shit. Because at the end of the day, the man don't believe in anything.
Right.
He don't believe in anything.
Yeah, he had no principles. He don't
got
no morals, no
anything.
principles. He don't stand on anything.
Nothing. Yeah. He don't care. Like, he just doesn't care. He only cares about himself.
Agree.
For me to even think that, like, I don't know, he hates a girl. No, he probably does hate black people and brown people. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was saying he's almost so narcissistic. He's past racist.
Yeah, it's like he just don't care. He just don't care.
Yeah,
You're like, I don't care about you. Like it's not that serious.
Yes.
I'll act like I hate you, but like I don't even care.
Yes.
And so my point with saying all that is that like authenticity again is so paramount, man. And I think people will understand it and they'll appreciate it when they see it, and they see it more and more. But it's true, man. The shit that's online right now, like, it's hard to tell the difference.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I don't know if you've been. I mean, I don't know if you keep up with like the Streamer University. Kai Cenat doing Streamer University, and where he did it at is like literally 10 minutes from where I grew up. He's doing it at at a college campus that's like right but next to the town I grew up in. So a lot of people around, are getting all jazzed up and all this. It's causing a lot of chaos, I would say, in the area, in the community, and not saying like chaos is in like negative or events are happening, but just people just causing a lot of engagement, I guess, people talking about it. And it's just like to see like the stuff and the antics that go on at this like Streamer University is like, and this is what people follow, and it's like, that's not authenticity. That's just shameful. That's literally what you're talking about, the shamefulness of like clickbaiting and doing things for clicks and engagement, and ultimately
It's all about the
for
bag.
money. Yes,
It's all about the bag.
for money.
And it goes back to, we had this conversation with the Netflix special that I watched in the Manosphere. Like, these cats don't even believe what they're saying.
No.
But they're like, I'm still gonna say the wildest shit about women,
Yes.
about gay people,
Yep.
about all this
But
shit.
this character
'cause
out
it's
of-
wild.
Yep.
It's fucking wild. People are gonna be fucking mad about it, and then there's gonna be some dudes that really do believe it, and they're gonna fucking follow me, and it's all about money.
My whole character is I'm gonna be out here antagonizing black people and just so prove that I can say the
Exactly.
word. Like, come on, like that's not who you are.
No, that's not even who you are.
You wouldn't do this if there wasn't a camera following you.
Correct.
If there wasn't
Money involved.
money involved, this is not something you would do. But you see people out here time and time, and this is the world we in now.
It's the type of capitalism that we're in right now.
Yes.
Because I've already said I'm a proud democratic socialist.
Commie.
Damn copy.
That's so weird how they got this. Like, wait, what? I thought it went because like democratic socialists was starting to make a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't go with that. Hold on, we gotta call them something else.
Call
Commie.
fucking commie, man. That's so
Wait, how did
funny.
we get to the commie? I thought we were doing the democratic socialist. Oh wait, that made sense. Now you got to go to commie. Okay, whatever. All right, but
It's fucking crazy. And with that said, like, this level of capitalism, part of the reason why I believe that now is because this level of capitalism just isn't sustainable. It's not working for everybody. It's working for very few.
Agree.
People are going to fight it left and right. But that also feeds into why people do what they do for money now.
Yes.
Because it's just like, yo, it's all about me, myself, and I. And if all I have to do is like say some crazy shit, but I know there's a bank in it.
Yeah.
To them, that's easy.
Yes.
To them, that's maybe it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah.
In their mind. Oh, I just got to go call this dude the N-word in front of everybody on
Yep.
camera, and I'm going to get 500,000 views.
Yep.
And I'm going to get a bag.
Yep.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. That's just not how it works, as opposed to being authentic. And, like I said, like, change some of the shit that we said, which was hard. It's hard. It's not easy to say it either.
Not at all.
But you know what? We say it, and it might not catch on like that. Again, we're not here to make money, but my point is like, I don't think people realize that if you just put in a little bit more work, being authentic, you can also be fruitful. You can also probably make money.
Yes.
Like, let's just be real, man.
Agreed. Like, one day we'll look back on this podcast and be like, man, remember the days when we were doing episode 41 and we were speaking on, forgiveness and stuff, and just like how we had 100 subscribers on YouTube, and now look where we at now. And it's just like the grind will pay off. There is still opportunities when you do things the right way, and I do think we're doing it the right way, and I think it'll be at the end of the road, it's gonna be
Hopefully,
fruitful.
it'll be good. It'll be fruitful now. I hope people get something from this. And
Absolutely.
Herb just kind of spilled the beans on what our next episode is. We just did an episode on shame, so
Yes.
I actually had the idea of doing an episode on forgiveness, which kind of plays hand in hand.
I do, and I feel like I have more shame, and I feel like forgiveness is something that you, as a topic that you have spoken on or kind of mentioned, and I'm interested to hear like what it means to you.
Yeah.
And kind of like last week, shame is something I want to speak on, like why you want to speak on forgiveness.
Yeah. So, great question. I think forgiveness is, again, we talk about things here on this podcast that we have to face as adults that I feel like many of us haven't been taught to face and to deal with. Obviously, like I said, shame, like we talked about, shame was one of them last week. You don't get taught how to deal with shame or what shame is and what it's all about.
Right.
I think it's the same thing with forgiveness.
Yep.
Like, as an adult now, what does forgiveness even mean? how do you forgive?
Yeah.
And is forgiveness strictly for other people, or can you forgive yourself too?
Ooh, that's a
And these are some deep topics that, or deep questions that I always have of myself, and kind of the world about me. And that's why when I'd hit you up a week and a half, 2 episodes ago, and I was like, I think forgiveness should be an episode. That's why. I think it's just like some deep shit. Because, going back when we were kids, I love to start there all the time. Like, what were we taught about forgiveness, right? Like, what was it about? For me, forgiveness was like if somebody did something wrong, you forgive them.
Yeah.
And what the hell did I even mean at the time?
Yeah.
Like, what did it even mean? It just means saying, hey, someone came up to you and apologized, and you said, that's okay, thank you for apologizing, and you moved on like everything was good. And I think it was very surface level, and very not deep what we believed growing up forgiveness was.
Okay.
And I think for me, that's what I grew up still thinking that's what I grew up to still think that it is.
yes.
And it's not that. It's deeper than that.
Okay.
In my opinion, forgiveness, and I guess I'll just cut to the chase here. What I believe forgiveness is today is more of allowing yourself to let go of what happened. And it doesn't mean forgetting.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest thing.
Forgive but not forget.
But not forget, but allowing yourself to let go of it, because at the end of the day, when you don't forgive, it only hurts you.
Okay.
But we were never taught that. It was never that deep before. Again, forgiveness was, I always believed it was just saying, oh, it's okay, meaning you're good, what you did is fine, no worries, it was just a mistake, that's fine, blah, 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 blah. And that's not necessarily what it is. But like, that's how I felt growing up. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
See, for me, forgiveness was rooted in religion. And that's
Religion.
what I learned. Forgiveness was all about the Lord and forgiveness and, turning the other cheek. But it was definitely some forgive but don't forget type, instances of it. But I feel like forgiveness was always like this spiritual thing, because growing up, it was always rooted in God forgives. And that's what ultimately was like getting God's forgiveness. And like, you do something wrong, you mess up and you want to get forgiveness from like I never felt like I needed forgiveness from my parents for mistakes or anything. Like, they didn't make me feel like I needed forgiveness. I just felt like they just
Really?
I just felt like they forgave me. I don't know. I guess I felt like they always routed it in don't ask them for forgiveness. Only, the only person we need to ask for forgiveness was God.
Wow. Okay.
And like, that was the true person that can give like forgiveness. But it wasn't to say like you don't forgive people and, on a very surface level as you was meaning. But I think like the true definition of forgiveness was always like this spiritual relationship between yourself and God.
Okay. Did that take the pressure off of you?
No, because it's like,
or they give you more pressure.
More pressure. Because like, oh, what if God don't forgive me? And then He can see everything I'm doing.
So elaborate more on that. How would you know if God ever forgave you then?
You're supposed to pray.
You just pray.
You just pray.
But praying meant automatic forgiveness? Or would you not know if you were forgiven until you got to the pearly white gates?
Well, it's supposed to mean automatic forgiveness if you truly pray. It meant automatic forgiveness, and I will say I felt like that way. For the things that I felt truly to pray and that I needed to be forgiven for. But and then he would be forgiven in the moment, and then ultimate forgiveness would be at the pearly gates. But I think you have to ask for prayer and forgiveness here on earth, and you can't wait till you get to the pearly gates to ask for it. And that's why like certain, I don't know, superstitions or, in the Bible, if you commit suicide, supposedly you can't go to heaven because you didn't have time to ask for forgiveness for your sin. And that was like the automatic way to go to hell. So forgiveness was always something you need to do on here on earth before you pass away.
But you would never actually know if you were forgiven. You would just have to continuously pray.
No, he ain't never like check me out. Be like, yo, bro, you good?
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
no,
so
he
it's
would
just
never
an
ring me down like that. Yeah,
eternal damnation of praying, and that's how they get you to continue to pray.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can just keep praying. You keep making the same mistake and ask for forgiveness. Same mistake, ask for forgiveness. Same mistake, ask for forgiveness. But that was like the person you wouldn't ask for forgiveness was from God. Now, as I've gotten older, I don't feel that same way now. Like, you need to ask for forgiveness if you truly, do something to someone, you should ask for forgiveness and truly mean that. And that's where I kind of think of it now. But like, growing up, it was definitely spiritual based.
So this is interesting now, because now I feel like I want to bring in another topic here, another important thing, because you can't have forgiveness without asking for an apology or without apologizing.
Right.
So that's a whole nother topic to bring into this.
Well, you see, the good thing about when you have forgiveness with God is that you don't really have to go into the devil's. You don't have to dive into the devil. You don't have to dive into the details because he already knows what you're asking for forgiveness for. But you do need to just be able to ask for forgiveness. I know that's some crazy stuff, but you just need to ask for forgiveness.
This is important because this is how you were born. You were
Yes.
raised.
Yes.
You were raised to believe this. See, I wasn't, because I wasn't a very religious person, as you know. I went to church, but it was never really about asking for forgiveness, which at the end of the day, asking for forgiveness is essentially apologizing. That's really what it comes down
Yes.
to. I guess I think the maybe not actually. Asking for forgiveness is different from apologizing, actually.
Okay.
I think it is.
Go.
Because I could be like, can you please forgive me? Well, have you apologized to me?
That's fair. That's fair. You
know what I mean?
Yeah, because apology, you need to state what you are apologizing. You need to be clear about what you're apologizing for.
Right.
And then we can work on the forgiveness. Now, yeah, the apology does need to come before the forgiveness.
100%. And that's what I mean. Like, there's oftentimes, I personally think we live in a world where people don't want to admit their mistakes. People do
absolutely.
everything to not admit their mistakes.
I mean, I know we harp on this. I don't say harp. I know we bring this up time and episode to episode again, but it's, top down. If you look at this leadership now, when have they ever admitted a mistake?
Right.
And now, and that's what you get from your quote unquote leaders. Then it makes it almost seem. Now we're in a place where you don't ever admit mistakes, and we spoke about the shamelessness, and it's this shamelessness that people have. Like, oh no, that's just I get to say what I want to say. You just need to accept this, and it's like. Since when did we get to? I mean, I know when we got to this, but still, it's hard for us to talk about having acceptance and apologizing and getting to a level where we can even have forgiveness because of right now we're in an environment where people won't even admit their mistakes, like you said.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on what the leadership is. That it's never been worse, but I don't think that this is a problem that just arose. I think we've been in this dilemma for a while.
You think so?
I think so. I don't think there was ever a time where people were like, maybe some of our leaders were maybe a little bit more willing to admit what happened. But I mean, like, for example, to this day, the biggest thing that I can think, the biggest blunder that we've had in the past 26 years outside of this war in Iran, going back to politics, is George Bush and Dick Cheney pushing us into war with Iraq off of lies. Yeah. They've never apologized for that. They've never admitted that they were wrong. Yeah. At the very least, for example, when we went to war in Vietnam, when Lyndon B. Johnson went into war in Vietnam and he left office, he claimed that it was one of his biggest blunders of having gone to war with Vietnam that he shouldn't have. Right? So that was in the 60s. But then you go up to George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, they've never apologized. They've never said they were wrong. There's still people that are sitting in the Trump administration that were part of the Bush administration that have still never said that they were wrong. Now, a lot of people have come out and said, we were wrong, we shouldn't have gone to Iraq. But there's still a lot of people that haven't. And I'm talking about leadership from that perspective.
But I feel like that's and not to make this political, but I feel like we're now
make it political.
We're now in this political landscape where politicians can never admit that they're wrong.
That is true.
And how did
that is true? That has gotten worse. No, that has gotten worse. I think it's been to an extent, but now it's so outward in your face.
Yeah.
Like, I think before people would hide behind the political jargon and stuff, but now it's blatant. It's a blatant lie. Facts are in their face, and they're like, no, those are alternative facts.
Yeah, I can show you something you said, and you saying it's not true. And it's like, or I can show you, you had a stance here years ago, now you have a stance here, and you can't even say that you just had a change of heart. You just act like that one just didn't exist.
Yeah, so, excuse me, maybe you're right. Maybe it is maybe it was an 8 before, and it's at a fucking 27 now, 8 out of 10. But I always feel like growing up, I don't know, you just even think about it, how hard it was to apologize for something.
I didn't ever feel that way.
I do. I feel like people have had and continue to have such a problem with just admitting that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And if you can't admit that you're wrong, it's hard for the person or the party who was done wrong to give forgiveness.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you're you haven't even admitted that you're wrong.
Right.
And that just delves into another thing, what I mean by forgiveness, and we'll go into a little bit later. But I don't think you need someone to apologize for you to give forgiveness. Because, again, I think forgiveness only hurts you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Not forgiving only hurts you.
Yes.
Yourself.
Yep.
You're holding yourself back.
Okay.
And we'll delve into a little bit more about that. But it is hard in a world where, me personally, how pissed off I am with everything in almost everybody in this world because people are just getting away with shit that's so fucking blatant.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I have this conversation with my therapist all the time. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking angry all the time because people just think that they can act, say, or do whatever the fuck they want, and they don't get held accountable. Yeah. And she's like, but what is you getting angry help in the situation? I don't know. Somebody needs to be angry. Somebody needs to do something. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's fucking wild. And like, people are just like too prideful to admit that they're wrong. Again, even with fucking facts in their face. Facts!
Which, I mean, I don't understand because I feel like as humans, we know we're flawed. And especially, you know, so much of our, you know, here in America, so many Americans are religious. We all know that we're flawed, but yet we don't want to ask for forgiveness for anything. And it's like I mentioned before, like when it came to forgiveness, it's something that, you know, it's a spiritual thing. Like many of these people are praying and asking for forgiveness in their prayers, but they won't apologize and ask for forgiveness from their fellow
human beings,
neighbor.
Well, a lot of that is because we've been deemed to not trust our neighbors. We've talked about this. We talked about this in our crime episode. We talked about this in our Second Amendment episode. We're being told that the enemy is your neighbor, is the person next to you, is the person down the street. Nobody trusts each other anymore.
Yeah, fences build great neighbors.
Yeah, right? So no one trusts each other. And we live in such an individualistic world. We think to ourselves, why do I give a fuck what that person thinks? Why do I owe them an apology when all I give a shit about is me and my family, and that's all I'm going to care about?
Yep.
That's a very dangerous precedent to set.
I mean, it's almost like that's what the American dream was, though. It's sold as like your individual family.
Yes. No, that is what it's sold as.
Only focus on that, and as long as you got that, or you feel like you're attaining this, then that's all that matters. Don't worry about anything outside of that.
They've led us to believe that everyone's success is theirs and theirs only, and nobody else helped them with that.
Yes.
And obviously, we've talked about this. That's done on purpose to keep us busy, hating on each other, and hating on anybody that hates on somebody else's success. To be like, hey, that's not fair. You're a trillionaire, and not even about fair, but like you got that dirty, and we're over here struggling. Like, what? Whoa, why are you mad at him? He earned it. It's his own money. Why are you trying to take his money away? And you got these fucking bootlickers defending some motherfucker who would literally piss in their drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's great. And I say all that not to get off the tangent. I say all that is why I do believe, or part of the reason at least why I do believe that it's hard for us to admit that we're wrong. Because I think in our mind, we're like, well, I don't care. That person's insignificant in my life. So why do I need to admit anything to them when I just have to worry about me, myself, and I? Bro, and it's sad. And let me tell you a quick story. I was out at a stargazing party at a bar last weekend with our friend Christy, and we were sitting at a table, and these three chicks came up, and they were like, they couldn't find a table. They're like, "Oh, can we sit with you?" And we're like, "Yeah, for real." They sat with us, and we talked for like an hour and a half. Real cool girls, and we were just talking about, I don't know how we got on this topic. One of the girls was like a data scientist or something like that, and she was talking about. I started talking about surveillance, how we're being surveyed, and she was like, "Yeah, we definitely are." She was like, "Reject those cookies. Like this is happening. Like I'm with it." And I was like, you know what's sad? I was like, we are being told to believe that we can't trust each other, that we can't trust our neighbors. Yeah. And I was like, and that's really sad. And one of the girls was like, I don't know about that. And the other girl was like, no, he's definitely right. And I was like, yeah, y'all met me tonight. What if we had an apocalypse go on right now? And then I happen to stumble upon your house, and I'm with my dog, and I'm like, yo, girls, you remember me? You met me last week. I need help. Would you take me in? One of the girls was like, hell no, I wouldn't fucking take you in. She was like, I'd probably kill you.
Yeah.
She was being dead ass.
Yeah.
Like dead serious. And I'm like, wow. And it wasn't personal against me.
Right, no.
But she was just like, I don't know what you know about me. I don't know what information, like all this like paranoia shit. And I was like, this is exactly my point.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. We're led to believe that you can't trust your fellow human being because that person's out to get me.
Well, that's an animalistic. That's like our animal instincts, though.
No, I think that's part of it. Yeah. But we're also beyond the animalistic part.
I understand.
Like, we're not just resort. Like we know we're rational enough, but we have been brainwashed to think that we can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Besides the people closest that we know.
Yes. And even then, it kind of goes back to like 1984, like the Orwellian thoughts of like the whole Big Brother is the only person you can trust. You can't even trust your kids, your spouse, your neighbor. Like,
bro,
like this is it. Like,
it's crazy.
And we're being told that by the people that we should trust the least.
Yeah.
Again, we're surveillance.
The people that we should trust the least with is the powers above. And again, it comes down to, in their minds, they go, I can lie, steal, and cheat as long as I'm bringing myself ahead, putting me and my family ahead with financially. It doesn't matter if I lie, steal, or cheat. I don't care about these people because it's not about the better community. It's about me and my family. And so when that's the only incentive, what incentive do you have to ask for forgiveness?
I'll say, how do we even
What
get to
incentive
forgiveness?
do you
We're
have?
missing.
Yeah.
What-
How do you even get there?
Yeah, how do we even get to forgiveness when we're missing the whole? Again, we meant you have to have the apology before the forgiveness, and if there's nothing to apologize for, then what am I asking for forgiveness from?
Exactly.
And it's, I mean, but do we feel like
I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying I think that's where we
right.
are as a country. Most of us.
You think that it's gotten worse though? You think that we were better?
I think you were right. I had said originally that I didn't think it was getting worse. That I think it's always been there, but it is progressively getting worse. It was always bad. I think. Again, capitalist United States of America.
Yep.
When your incentive is to do the best that you can for you, yourself, and you.
Now, what do you do with if you feel like you've been wronged and somebody, you feel like somebody, has wronged you, and you would forgive them, but they're now apologizing? How do you even?
That's a whole different story, because now we start getting into, if as individuals, me personally, where I am trying to get into my life is try to understand that the only control I have is over me, myself, my choices, and my decisions.
Okay.
That's it. And even my choices and my decisions don't guarantee a certain outcome.
Right.
And the sooner I realize that, the easier it is for me to let go of things.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest problem with us as humans. And I've said this on countless episodes. Our biggest problem as human beings is our attachment to outcomes.
Okay.
Right? We have this thought in my mind that I should be doing this. I should be here. Going back to our shame episode.
Right.
Going back to everything. Why am I not here for? Because we're attached to that outcome. We really think that we have to be there. And if we're not, we don't know what to do with ourselves.
Right.
The sooner you realize that life is malleable, and to be honest with you, you have very little control over most things in your life. Very little control. Not saying that you need to be happy about it.
Right.
But accept that. It's a lot easier to let go of things.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to let go of these fucking outcomes, whatever the case is, right? I say all that to say I can't control if someone's going to give me an apology.
There we go.
I can't.
Right.
I can't. I can tell them how I feel. And this happened to me very recently. Very recently, I had a really tough conversation with my mom a couple months ago where she said some crazy, hurtful things to me. And it really upset me. And I got mad more than anything because I'm like, we live in a world where people think that they can just say whatever they want without any repercussions. And I was like, and I don't want my mom to think that she can continue doing this.
Man.
And so I had to tell her, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you until you apologize and mean it.
Yeah.
And I need you to mean it. Otherwise, I love you. I'll always love you, of course. But like what you said, I'm putting my foot down. That's all I had control over.
Yeah.
I don't have control over anything else.
Right.
I couldn't make her apologize to me. You know what I mean?
Man, that's so funny because we've established that you need to have an apology before forgiveness, but as from the person on the outside looking in, my immediate response to you and not knowing exactly what was said, how hurtful it could have been, how outrageous it could have been, it could be the worst thing. Where I'm immediately like, oh, but man, it's your mom. You should forgive her. And it's like we literally just like, wait a second, like why is the onus upon you to do the forgiving?
Yeah.
When you're not the person that. When this happened to you, and it's like, oh, you need to do the forgiving. You need to be the person. It's your mom, and do the forgiving. Yeah. And it's like, why do I think that way immediately? And we literally just established like, yo, you're owed an apology. I don't say you deserve an apology, and then you can do the forgiving. But without the apology, how can you forgive somebody for this?
And that's the other thing. That's the harsh reality of life that I've realized growing up is that no one owes you a damn thing. Mm-hmm. No one. And that sounds harsh. I don't mean that in a harsh way.
Yeah, but it's just the reality.
This is just the reality of accepting that you don't have control over most things in your life.
Right.
And so for you to expect an apology, if you didn't expect anything, it's hard. It's hard to expect a guarantee.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't have expectations, but I think need to be realistic about what life is. To your point, and this is my entire point with the whole thing, it's not about, and I'm not saying I'm good at this, but I'm saying intellectually I understand this. For me, forgiveness no longer is about having someone say they apologize for something. Mm-hmm. For me, forgiveness is me forgiving that person and saying, and not even tell them, they don't need to know. Yeah. I don't have to say anything to them, but just me internally saying, you know what? I'm not going to stress this anymore.
Yeah.
What they said is what they said. What they did is what they did. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that I forget. That also doesn't mean that I don't set up boundaries.
Yeah.
So that I don't get put in that situation again. But what it does mean is that I can let go of it.
Right.
And I'm not dwelling over it, because if I don't let go of it and if I continue dwelling over it day after day, week after week, even maybe it's not you're thinking about it day after day, but you're thinking about it every so often and it makes you mad. Like, what good is that doing for me? It's not doing anything for me. So forgiveness is about me.
Yeah.
It's not about them. It has nothing to do with them, because I don't need to tell them that I forgive them.
Right.
But I can forgive them on my own, not forget and remember what they did and be like, because of that, I'm going to set up boundaries. Like I did, I try to set up boundaries with my mom, like, blah, blah, or whoever. Like, all right, I know this person's probably going to do me dirty. The same thing with a relationship. If you get cheated on or something like that, like,
Right.
all right, you know what? I'm going to forgive you because I'm going to move past this, but we're not in a relationship anymore. We're not going to talk anymore. But I have forgiven you because I don't need that negativity in my life and need that to weigh me down. And so I think, to me, that's what forgiveness is about now at this ripe age. I'm not saying I've got it down pat by any means, but that to me is what forgiveness is.
And that makes me think of now, can you forgive someone without an, I know, like, I feel like starting out, I was like, oh, you have to have an apology to get into forgiveness. But is there a case where you can forgive someone and they don't apologize?
Yeah, I think that's the example that I just gave you.
I guess those, yeah.
Because again, when you start flipping,
why would you or why should you forgive someone if they don't apologize?
Because again, it's not about them; it's about you. Because if you can let that weigh on you heavily and be angry about it and be sad about it and be scared about it, that in turn brings your energy down.
But if you don't say that to them, and if they do it again.
Well, that's why I said that doesn't mean that you don't set up boundaries.
Okay, so we do have to have. Okay,
you set up boundaries.
I'm saying, like, we don't have to tell the person that we forgive them, but we do need to say to the person, "Hey, that don't do that again."
Right, or just set up boundaries. Whatever you need to do to set up boundaries. 100%.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in this instance,
I'm just thinking, like, if a person like violated someone and then the person doesn't.
Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing them back in your life the same exact way they were before. That's not what forgiveness.
I'm with you there. That's the whole not forget.
Yeah. That's. I don't mean that. Again, because forgiveness, again, how I've learned to understand it now at my ripe age of 40, is not about the other person. It's about you and how you can move forward in your life.
Yeah.
While still protecting yourself from that person, whatever it is they did.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if they said something hurtful, if they cheated on you, like if I was cheated on, I would, in my mind, try to forgive the person and say, and not even, I don't have to tell them, but that does not mean that, okay, I forgive you, now we're still in a relationship. No. We're broken up.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to do that to me again.
Right.
Bye. We're not going to talk anymore. Or if we do, it'll be very cordial and we're done. But I have forgiven you because I'm not going to hold on to all that hate.
But what would that look like to the other? I mean, I guess
it doesn't matter what it looks like to them.
Yeah, I
don't need to know.
guess I'm asking, like, what is the forgiveness? What does it do for the person that gives the forgiveness? If I don't have to explain, or if I don't have to express this to the individual that I'm forgiving, then why do I need to give forgiveness internally if it's not something that's going to be known? Because
it's about you letting go of the hate, the fear, the sadness, the whatever is something. Because
I guess I need
because you have hate, because you have hate when somebody does something, or you have whatever, you have some ill feelings towards it.
Right.
Forgiveness is about letting those things go.
There we go. I was going to say, okay.
That's what I mean. That's what I've been trying to say the whole time. Just letting those things go, because that doesn't hurt them.
Of course not. No, yes.
It weighs you down.
Yes.
It eats at you.
Yes.
It makes you resentful.
Yes.
It makes you hateful. You know what they say? Hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
When you're not able to let go of the hurt that you've experienced in your life, is because you haven't been able to forgive. Oh. And I'm not blaming you necessarily. You probably have every right to be mad.
Yeah.
Of course you are. And I'm not even saying you need to forgive right away.
Yeah.
You can hold on to those feelings. You can feel those feelings for whenever you need to feel onto them. But when you're sitting there, depending on the severity of the instant infringement.
Yeah.
But if that sits with you for a month, it sits with you for a month. But just realize how it feels to have that sit in your heart.
Okay.
That non-forgiveness. And really what forgiveness is about is forgiving yourself, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's really what it's about.
Yes.
It's about forgiving yourself for allowing this person to speak to me this way, for allowing
this
person
you can't control.
No, you can't. Well, maybe not allowing, but like it's okay. It's okay that like it's not your fault that this happened.
Agree. Yes.
You're forgiving yourself. It's not your fault that any of this happened. So
yes.
Because part of the hatred that you have, I believe in your heart with a lot of these things, it's like you blame yourself.
Oh yeah, how did I get in this situation? How did I let this person do this to me? Yes.
How did I not do any? You know what I'm saying?
And that's where the hardness comes from. The forgiveness isn't from that other person. More like you said, that's where you have to forgive yourself and being like it's not something that you specifically did.
Correct.
Acknowledging the situation.
Yeah. Sorry if I wasn't.
No.
It's a hard because I've never had this conversation out loud. These are just thoughts in my head, which is why I want to have it, so we're able to talk it through.
Yeah, I think this is big because I mean, especially as we get older and start thinking about like, you know, things that people done to us, and how we've been wronged, and like, man, I don't F with that person,
right.
I ain't trying to hear nothing they got to say, or I cast out this, you know, this is how that person is, and I'm telling everybody this is how this person is, and it's like, what good is that doing for yourself? You know, there's an opportunity for forgiveness there, and don't harbor those hard feelings. It's not doing you any good.
It's not doing you good, and that's hard to think because again, there's going to be people that are going to be like, hell no, because there's going to be people that misconstrue what we're saying here, what I'm saying. Never. They need to be held accountable and blah, blah. And I'm like, it's true. And this is a conversation I've had with my therapist all the time. When I talk about like the things going on in the world, and I'm like, nobody's holding these motherfuckers accountable. Mm-hmm. Like, how can Israel be literally bombing and killing innocent lives and children in Palestine for 75 years and no one been held accountable, and us just turn a blind eye and we see it in their face that they want to commit an ethnic cleansing? How can the people in Sudan be genocided and no one holding the opposition in? Like, how is this allowed to happen? And it makes me infuriated because in my mind, I think we all think forgiveness means an eye for an eye. Right? It's retaliation. And as much as I want that to be true sometimes, like the reality is that that's not even necessarily what it has to be or what it needs to be. And I'm not sitting here saying Palestinians need to forgive Israelis or whatever the case is in their heart and just forgive them and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a difficult thing to do.
Right.
I guess what I am saying is that forgiveness can look maybe different for different people. But in a world where I think people that are committing not just crimes, because, you know, I'm talking the extremes right here, but that are hurting people, that are making grave mistakes, are doing it because they probably haven't forgiven themselves for certain things. They probably haven't forgiven others for stuff that's happened in their lives.
Right.
And that's what I mean, that when you let that shit simmer,
Yeah.
when you don't forgive yourself, when you don't, in an extent, forgive certain people in your lives.
Yeah. Even without the apology.
Even without the apology, it turns into hatred.
Yes.
And it turns into you now doing the things that you're so mad that other people maybe did to you, or even worse.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that. I mean, the stats kind of show this type of, you know, people who come from abusive homes tend to be abusive. People that come from, you know, whether it's sexually or verbally or mentally or physically, like, you know, again, we went back to hurt people. And it's just kind of like, without that forgiveness, you tend to perpetuate that type of, you run the risk of perpetuating that type of actions, those type of actions in your, you know, into your own life, and start to lash out at people for the very same thing. You become the monster that you once hated. Yeah. And but I also look at, man, thinking about forgiveness, and especially when we start speaking about like how could a Palestinian forgive an Israeli?
Bro, wouldn't even say the Israeli. We'll call the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Force.
There we go. Yeah.
We'll say that.
Speaking just to the government, yes.
Yeah, just strictly to the government. I don't know. I'm not Palestinian, and again,
or just like even like how do black people forgive?
And that's a conversation for you as a black man, right? Like, I don't want to sit here and tell people what they should and shouldn't do. Yeah. I can only speak to from my understanding of how I understand holding on to that hate, holding on to that feeling, and not forgiving what it can do. And it doesn't do that for everyone. Don't get me wrong, but like, I often think that it hurts you more than anybody else. I think, you know, just so to make it more relational, you said, how can a black person forgive? What was it you said?
Like, how can a Palestinian forgive an Israeli? How could a black person forgive, like, you know, the history that is had here in America?
Right. You know, how can, you know, fucking the Latinos right now forgive ICE and all that shit?
How? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's like, and I don't think it's about, again, it's not about forgetting, but it's about understanding that, life conditions is not an excuse, but life conditions have molded these people to create the actions that they created. They have been hurt in their past in some way, shape, or form that we'll never know. And that's not an excuse. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But they have been indoctrinated, brainwashed, hurt in their past to believe that what they're doing is the right thing to do or is justified because X, Y, Z. Not an excuse.
Right.
It is a reasoning. Maybe understanding that and being like, okay, I'm going to let this go, but I'm not going to, not only just forget it, I'm also going to do something about it. I'm going to organize. I'm going to try to get ICE defunded. Yeah. I'm going to try to get ICE abolished, not even defunded. Yeah. I'm going to try working with advocacy groups to get the people responsible at top arrested and tried in court.
Right.
But I'm not going to hold on to all this hatred for so long. Hatred can motivate. Don't get me wrong. It can motivate you to do moves, but that's not a clean, sustainable fuel to run on. It isn't. You have to run on compassion. You have to run on optimism. And I think that's the only way to change the world. And I hate saying that because, me, so many times I feel like people need to get punched in the fucking mouth. Like all the time. Like I do think that sometimes violence is going to beget violence.
Yeah,
Like in certain situations.
Humans crave contact.
Yeah, and I'm also like the pragmatic person in me understands that, like, if we could, if that's the only answer, it's just going to be an eye for an eye. For the rest of eternity. And like I said, an eye for eye makes the whole world fucking blind, bro. Whole world fucking blind. And so I don't know, bro. Like, I'm not claiming to say I have all the answers.
Yeah.
I'm just
No, I don't think that's
from like my heart on what it is and what I think might be the best way, but like, it's just I think when we start taking a look at if we can be self-aware and go, what is this doing to me internally?
Yeah.
Holding on to this. What is it doing to me? And really feel what it's doing to me and realize this doesn't feel good.
Do you feel like there's things in your life that you haven't forgiven?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Or is there anything like specific that sticks out that you like working on forgiving?
Yeah, I said this in our Death and Grief episode. I don't think I've forgiven myself for how I perceived the way I treated my sister when she was alive.
Right.
And it kind of it hurts me a lot because but the reality is when I've talked to like my parents about this, a therapist about this, it's like, dude, you were 13. Like you treated her like a younger sister. Like like you were fine. You were great. She wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
But I still beat myself up about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like that's one that I really think about a lot where I don't know if I've forgiven myself for
like what
just
what
being
does that
mean
sound
to her.
Yeah.
Just like being mean to my like little sick sister who was fucking 8 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I could see where those moments. I mean, to you feel like it's mean, and to her, I'm sure it could be mean or not, but they were real.
Yeah,
like you were treating her like a little sister.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure that's what she would want to be treated like. Like everybody just wants to be treated, especially in that situation. I could imagine someone wanting to be treated normal, and that's literally what you were doing. So but I also see the how that can weigh on you, especially growing up, like because you don't have a chance to ask that specific individual for that forgiveness, and it's like it kind of plays into the whole like have these conversations, give people their flowers before it's too late.
Yeah, and I also think it's deeper than that, bro. I think it's more about, again, forgiving ourselves. Like look what we just talked about in our last episode, all this shame we have.
Man,
I don't think it's about forgiving anybody.
Yeah,
I think it's about you and I forgiving ourselves.
Yes.
It's not about anybody else.
Right.
And so that's hard to do. That's harder to do, I think.
It is, because I feel like, I think we both preach like, sometimes you don't have as much control of the things you think you do. But I also feel like we both feel like there are a lot of things in your life that you do have control over, and you have to just focus on those things and like not get so caught up on the external things or the things that, the negatives, as opposed to looking at the positives and focusing on those things and trying to build upon the positives.
I get what you're saying. And what you're talking about is just simply holding yourself accountable.
Right.
I think that's different than having shame or beating yourself up.
Right.
Because shame comes from beating yourself up, essentially.
Absolutely.
For me, it's all about beating myself up. We had this conversation before on Are We Too Hard on Ourselves or Not?
Yes.
Episode 8.
And that's what I was thinking.
Listen to it right there.
Yeah.
It's episode 8, season 1. I don't know how I remember all these shits
I don't
off the top
know
of my
how
head,
you
bro.
pulled that one back.
Well, I'm the one who keeps track of our catalog.
Yeah, there we go.
So every week I'm in the catalog
Yeah.
looking at, anyways. This is why I think it's imperative for us to speak kindly to ourselves. That's not the same as being complacent or letting yourself go when you don't follow through on certain things. That's not what I mean. You can speak to yourself kindly and still hold yourself accountable.
Right.
There's completely two different things. And that also plays hand in hand, in my opinion, with the forgiveness aspect of it.
Yeah.
There's this therapy style called IFS, internal family systems,
Okay.
that I've been introduced to with a couple of my therapists in the past. More recently, my last therapist here, where it's about speaking to the different parts of yourselves.
Okay.
Right. So I talk a lot about like the idea of accepting myself and how that looks. And so what we do together is we essentially talk to a different version of myself. I know it sounds super schizophrenic, but it's not.
Not really.
It's about like 13-year-old Derek.
Yeah.
Right. And talking to 13-year-old Derek and the shame that I had in certain instances, and just you showing up as 40-year-old Derek, talking to 13-year-old Derek and saying it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. Like, I understand why you're scared or why this situation worried you, but like, you're fine. I understand that no one talked to you about this during the time, but I'm talking to you about it now. Like, you're good. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like you need to protect current Derek right now by these past traumas or past experiences. You're okay. You're only 13 years old.
Yeah.
Derek's 40. He got this.
Right.
So you don't feel like you need to come in and take over the wheel because you think you're protecting Derek, and this is because something happened in Derek's situation that reminded him of what happened when he was 13.
Right.
Right. And so that's the level of forgiving. That's you forgiving your 13-year-old self for whatever it is that happened.
Yeah.
Then that's me going back and forgiving my 19-year-old self for the performance anxiety that happened and being like, bro, it's fine.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, good, my guy.
Right,
Like, he was
right.
19. Like, shit happens, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it ain't
yeah.
even that serious.
Right. Right.
And being able to be like, and really embracing that and forgiving myself for that so that I can move past that in my current life situation now. Right? Does that make sense?
No, it does. I guess I'll ask in those, in that instance, going back to, your sister situation, like, now that you kind of understand what forgiveness is, why do you feel you still struggle with that?
I think we all still struggle with it because we still face societal pressures. I still face the notion of like, she was sick and she was a child. Like, how could you have been mean to her in this situation? Right. It's just like the initial like, about it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I have forgiven myself almost completely from that situation. I still have a little bit of like, about it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's still a level of like, I haven't fully forgiven myself, but I've gotten much, much better at it.
I
don't think it's a one-time. That's the thing we all need to realize. It's not like a one-time you go back and go, oh, I forgive you, and all of a sudden everything's fine and it's all brain rules. This is a continuous thing.
It's like something on the spectrum. And
Yeah.
you feel like it's something you progressively forgiving yourself more and more throughout the years.
As I've gotten older and understood more, yeah. And it might be like that for every situation that you need to forgive yourself for.
Yeah. I feel like, I'm trying to think of like.
Can you think of something you need
Well, I
to
was
forgive
thinking of
yourself
like
about when you want to forgive yourself about?
the fortunate thing I would say, kind of speaking about the two deaths in our, that we've experienced, like with my dad, is that I was old enough to where I've had grown out of the stage of, when you going back and forth with your dad, as you're growing up, you kind of see him as like, the relationship we had growing up wasn't the best until I got 22, 23, 24, 25. And it's more so thinking like, man, had I lost my dad when I was 13, 14, 15, what the difference would have been compared to losing him at 32 and not having to, not saying there was a level of forgiveness that I need to have for my dad because he didn't owe me any forgiveness, but just how hard I would have been on myself thinking like, damn, I didn't even, get to grow up with this individual, and I was thinking he's having this bad relationship and not having cherishing those moments. And fortunately enough, I was able to have those moments. And had it'd have been completely different. I don't know what the grief would have been like.
Yeah. Had
it lost and kind of similar to how you did. And who knows how I would have dealt with that, and if I could have what that would have looked like. So
forgiveness can sometimes go hand in hand with regret.
Absolutely.
Like regret is super massive for people, and regret is not one of people's biggest regrets is not saying something to someone they love that they lost.
Yep.
Or not doing something with the person that they love that they
just
lost.
Expressing.
And that's super important. I think that's part of what I feel with my sister. It's like I wish I was nicer at certain points.
Yeah.
But again, I've forgiven myself for a lot of that.
Yeah.
I still feel that heavily sometimes, But I think I've gotten a lot better.
And how long ago was this?
27 years ago.
And
27 years. No, I'm sorry. 27 years ago. Yeah, 27 years ago.
And that's, I mean, that's something to live with for a long time. Like we talk about 3 decades of this.
And this is what I mean. She never asked me to apologize for anything.
Right.
I don't think she ever would, because I don't think she ever thought that I needed to apologize for anything.
Right.
And so this is what I mean by, like, forgiveness most of the time has nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with you.
Yeah. Yes.
And for me to have held on to that for so long, that does something to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I keep saying, like, try to, yes, people sometimes, you probably do deserve apology sometimes. And I think we all should do a better job at apologizing when we make mistakes, when we hurt somebody that we didn't mean to hurt, or whatever the case is. Like, man up, woman up.
Yeah.
Like, these are really important things. Like, your words do go a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 things can be true. No one owes you an apology. No one owes you anything.
Right.
And so knowing that you can have those 2 lenses where you might deserve something doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Absolutely.
And if that's the case, what do you have control over? It's yourself.
Right.
And
That's
how
it.
you feel.
Yes.
And the forgiveness that you give the other person, not even necessarily verbally, but just for you to be able to move
Just
past
knowing
that.
even if they don't know,
Even if they don't
it's
know.
fine with me knowing.
I forgive you. I don't forget. I'm going to set up my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create boundaries. I'm not going to allow you to do this to me again.
Yep.
And in a way, that's me holding you accountable. Right. But I'm also not going to hold on to this anymore, even if you're not giving me an apology.
Yeah. It's not about to drive my day. It's not about to drive. I'm not about to get, my emotions, if I see you or anything like that. So I can understand that aspect of it. But that's deep, bro, because going into this, I didn't know exactly how we were going to go with it. But just thinking about, like, not having the opportunity or not having proper forgiveness in your heart for something can really carry a huge burden.
Yep.
And that's not something that goes away. Like I said, you carry this for decades. That's crazy. That's just something to think about. Like, man, you growing with, like, this is literally growing with you as a person. And that's hard to bear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I thought it was such an integral part, because we don't get taught this when we're young. We don't. Man, we don't.
I mean, I'm over here thinking, like, I got to just pray to ask God for forgiveness. And it's like, man, it's like, again,
deeper than that, bro.
Yeah, we don't have to go down how I feel about that whole situation. And I believe in that. I do believe in the power of prayer. Don't get me wrong. The boy be out here praying too. Don't get it wrong. Especially right now. Especially right now, I'm sending them up.
Right.
And I need them to come back down with the blessings. But that said, still though, like, there is a huge maturity that goes into properly forgiving, another human being.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we, like, again, we live in a world where we can't even admit we're wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people can't. And let's not be those people.
Let's not
be those people.
Let's not.
That's the last thing. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard in a world where everything is recorded, in a world where it's all about personal branding. That's what life is, in a world. But it's true. Like, I jump on social media and I've talked about everybody's trying to put their personal brand out there. I got 4,000 followers and they fucking edit their videos perfectly. Look at my run today. And it's like, bro, you mad fucking annoying. Not granted, we got a podcast, right. but there's a level of branding we got going on here. It's our podcast. It's not my personal page. And I used to do it before too. Actually, I didn't really post that much. I posted stories, but maybe that was part of it. Anyways, going off a tangent. People are too scared to fumble.
Yes.
They want to show this perfect little thing because they don't want to have to explain themselves. And again, I think there's a beauty to, personally, to just like seeing somebody fumble and seeing somebody man up and be like, yo, man, my bad.
We love a comeback story.
Yeah.
I love
it. It don't even need to be a comeback. I'm talking about even something small. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I misspoke in this podcast, said this, like, my bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like,
that's
my
fair.
bad. Like, we're all humans type of a thing. I think
Yes.
we forget that we're all humans and we're just too scared to admit that we're wrong. And I think part of the reason is that.
I mean, no, that's definitely what the mainstream or the majority, definitely society is like that. And I personally, I'm like, I know I mess up.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be like, straight, that's my bad.
Well, I also think there's part of it too, and we're kind of running up on time here, but part of it too is that we just don't give each other enough grace anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think that's the case. Like, I think we live in a world where we got to be perfect, especially, again, the pressures that we have being 40 to like have it figured out. It's like,
Oh boy.
even in dating life.
Oh yeah.
I just be sitting there like, I feel like a girl's like, you 40, like you need to know what you want. And it's not that I don't. I would love to have a partner, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna be my partner.
Yeah.
Just like I need to get to know you. Like,
Yeah.
just like you reserve the right to realize a month or 2 months in that this isn't for you, I do too.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so to have this whole like, oh, this got to work out type of a thing. Like, I don't know. It's pressure, and it's a lot for me sometimes.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I like you right now, and like, who knows? And even that, I think some people find can be really, really hard to, again, make a mistake. I won't even call it a mistake, but it's like, all right, it just didn't work out. We're good. We're adults. Like,
and just like, hey, yeah, sorry, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it is a tough conversation. Not saying it would be easy. Not saying feelings won't be hurt.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the right way.
Yeah.
And
anyways, going off on tangents, we already talked about that.
That was...
Herb didn't expect that one.
I'm telling you, that flew by. I didn't know where we were gonna go. And I was like, holy shucks, okay, because I know that this is something that's big, and I was like, something I don't think that I focus enough on a lot of times, and this is something I definitely need to take a look back and maybe a couple apologies I need to send out.
Yeah, maybe
might be some apologies I need to send out.
What do y'all think about forgiveness? About forgiving yourself, about forgiving people, do our apologies. We'd love to hear it all.
Yes,
we was all feeling this one out, but I felt it was an important topic for us to talk about as 40-year-olds, as adults that nobody really actually talks about. Like, what does that even look like?
Nope.
Anywho, all right, let's get into our fun facts. So
let's do it.
I think you went first last time, so let me go first next time.
Uh-oh.
This one was just a little bit interesting. I don't know why I don't know if people actually know this, but like, do you actually know how caffeine works? Like, what is caffeine actually doing to you?
Doesn't it block some receptor, or it blocks somehow it blocks some receptors from telling you that you're tired?
He been 2 for 2, bro. Now when I'm asking him about this stuff,
just a random.
Because I thought caffeine was just like
energy.
an addition that just gave you a boost of energy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought always. And then I was listening to 2 podcasts. Shout out to Ramona, who has her own podcast, Hello Brain. Go check it out. We'll put it on here from the Brainovation
show notes.
Brainovation Network. We also need to get her on as a guest. She did a podcast on this because she is a neuroscientist. And then I was listening to another podcast that they were doing it on too. But yes, caffeine actually works by blocking adenosine, a brain chemical that promotes sleep. Mm-hmm. I always thought it was just giving you energy. But it's just blocking the thing that gives you sleep. And so what it does is that it's a molecular structure that mimics adenosine. Caffeine binds to your brain's adenosine receptors without activating them. And so the blocker, how you feel awake throughout the day, your brain produces adenosine as a byproduct of burning energy. Mm-hmm. As adenosine accumulates and locks into its corresponding brain receptors, it signals your central nervous system to slow down, making you drowsy.
Yeah.
When you consume caffeine, it slips into the receptor, locks, and acts as a barrier, preventing adenosine from attaching and signaling tiredness.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Man.
Legitimately did not know that. I didn't know it was blocking anything. I was like, I'm just getting a boost of energy in some way, shape, or form. It's not. It's just blocking whatever, which is interesting because it's probably also why I feel even more sleepy as soon as it wears off.
Oh, yeah. Because now it's all just jumps onto you like, all right, the block's over. That was flooding the gates.
Now I'm flooding the gates. Just in case y'all didn't know, now you know. That's what caffeine does.
Bam. All right, well, mine, I'm going to take you back out to space. Not that far, though, just to the moon.
All right.
The moon's surface is covered of a fine powdery soil called regolith, mm-hmm. and is buried within it. Buried within it are millions of tiny glass beads. And here's how they got there. Meteorites slam into the moon at enormous speeds. The impact generates extreme heat that instantly melts the surrounding rock. But because the moon, last week we spoke about this, doesn't have an atmosphere, the molten rock flash cools in the surface in the vacuum of space and solidifies into tiny glass particles rather than a solid rock. And this process has been happening over billions of years. And these glass particles are actually a key reason why the moon reflects sunlight back to the earth as effectively as it does. So that's why the moon it's kind of made up of surface of little tiny glass.
It's actually fascinating too because there is no atmosphere, there is no winds, there's no nothing. Yeah. Like the Apollo missions that have stepped their feet on there, that footprint will be there for millions of years.
Yes,
it's not going to move. It's going to be stuck
there.
There's
no air to disperse, so when you just step down in the vacuum of space, you have a crisp print because there's nothing to
be there for millions of years, which is crazy because you think about here, it's like a footprint. Like it's never going to last because we got winds, we got atmospheres, we've got erosion, we've got climatization,
all these things.
None of that on the moon.
Yeah,
none of that on the moon.
Nope.
So, and that's not the same for other planets, because other planets do have atmosphere. Other planets do have winds, but not the moon.
Yes.
The moon is just straight up dead.
Yeah.
It's straight up dead ass thing.
We have to get at another fun fact. We have to describe, or we have to discuss how the moon got here.
Oh, I think we already have. I think I did a fun fact on that. Did I not?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'll look it up.
We have
If I did, then that means that'll be the Friday fun fact.
Okay, but
I'm pretty sure it's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out Steya.
Hey, but need to say the moon. The reason why it shines so effectively is essentially it's made up of glass.
Dude,
Take it from here.
Hey, let us know what you think.
Bam.
Appreciate y'all again. That episode went quick, Herb.
Yo, we getting efficient.
Episode 21, season 2, dog. What's up?
Did it.
All right, man. Peace, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.